Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to cover UPSC Prelims PYQ series of CSAT Comprehension 2024 questions. In this particular video series, students, we are going to solve the CSAT Comprehension using shortcuts and various tricks and arrive at the answer in a time-efficient manner. That's the main objective of this video, students. So before going into the video, let's learn some important tips for reading comprehension. Extreme statements in answer options like all, every, always, none, only, solely, whenever they are used, most of the times that tends to be incorrect only in UPSC CSAT comprehension questions, students. Not only that, whenever they are using technical or unfamiliar terms which are not mentioned in the passage means that will be wrong only. You can eliminate that option. Only exemption is inference oriented questions will have any extra terminologies. Pay more attention to keywords such as but, however, except, although, because after that, whatever is mentioned in the passage, that is where the real intention or central idea of the passage will be lying, students. So we need to take hint of that. Not only that, central idea of the passage should have a broader theme. It should not be narrow-minded or minor detail in the options listed. Assumption should never be mentioned directly in the passage, students, and moreover 99% of the times it will not be in negative tone. So whenever there is a negative tone means maximum you can eliminate that particular statement to be wrong. Critical inference message means that option will be given in a slightly negative tone. Most critical means it will be even strongly worded, that is extreme worded. And if the examiner is asking you implied, inferred, conclusion can be deduced means try to read the last 2 to 3 lines of the passage. Most of the times the answer for that will be lying in the passage in the last 2 to 3 lines for the inference and conclusion questions. And what sums up the passage, you need to read the overall conclusion, not any examples. So these are the some important learning, students. Using that, let's crack some of the CSAT comprehension questions of 2024 examination. The first one, based on the above passage, the following assumptions has been made. So they are talking about first statement. For effective school education, parents have greater role than the governments. Let's quickly go to the particular passage, students, where they are talking about parents. The mention of the word parents, let's have a vertical skimming. Fastly we can skim it. So where there is a usage of word parents, only one. Here only they have used it. Parents and children expect that such graduates from school will go on to high school and college. That is where only in this context they have used it. So they are expecting this school children to go to high school. That is how the context has been mentioned. But here what they are telling is, for effective school education, parents have greater role than governments. They are comparing the parents' role with respect to government, and they are telling parents should have greater role. That is nowhere mentioned in the passage. If you read this particular passage, students, so something which is not at all mentioned in the passage means you can eliminate that particular option to be wrong. Second one, school curriculum today that conforms to today's requirements and is uniform for the entire country may address the issue brought out. Basically, students' uniform is also universal thing they are saying, and entire is also a extreme word. As I said already, whenever they use extreme or negatively worded in assumption statements, that will be wrong only. Easily you can eliminate it. Otherwise, you can have a vertical skimming of the passage in a faster manner to double verify it. So both of them are wrong. So you can directly pick option D to be the correct answer. That is neither one nor two. So both of them are wrong here, students. Second one, which one of the following best reflects the central idea conveyed by the passage? Usually students, as I said in yesterday's CSAT comprehension video also, the central idea or inference of the passage will be lying in the last 3 lines in the passage. So we need to give maximum attention to that. On the other hand, abilities in terms of academic competencies are far lower than that should have been based on curricular expectations of class 8. So compared to class 8, the students' level of performance is very lower. That's what they are conveying here. That is the academic competency. We have to look for exactly that keyword academic competency anywhere which is mentioned here in the 4 option. Total eradication of poverty will resolve the issue of 100 performance of our school children. Monetary incentives to parents and teachers is a strategy to improve the children's academic performance. Public policy should ensure that competencies and achievements of young people are aligned with their expectations. Here they are using that word competency, which is mentioned in the last three lines in the passage. That is matching with the central idea, students. You can directly pick that to be the correct answer, because if any of the option, if they use that keyword which is mentioned in the last three lines, that is the central idea conveyed by the passage, students. This is one shortcut trick you can use for comprehension central idea kind of questions. Let's move to the next one, students. Which one of the following statement best reflects the thinking of the author about the science? So let's read the first two lines as well as the last two or three lines to understand the answer. We take it for granted now that science has a social responsibility. The idea would not have occurred to Newton or Galileo. We are surprised that we cannot trace a social sense further back because we nurse the illusion that industrial revolution ended with a golden age. So that's what they're saying, students. Let's now look for that particular keyword which is mentioned here, that is social sense or industrial revolution. How they are used in this context, we have to look at it. First one, science must value the commitment of scientists. Nowhere mentioned, eliminate it. Science is a product of civilized society, must be used for the promotion of scientific awareness in people, not mentioned. Industrial revolution, they have used it. What they are telling is it was made possible by the advancement in science. Next one, science must pursue the truth but be responsible for social welfare. Look at the students here, what they are telling is they're using the keyword social, which is available in the first two lines as well as in the last two lines. That means that is what the maximum thinking of the author will be compared to industrial revolution, which is only less times used in the passage. But this social word is used in the starting two lines also and the last two lines also. That means that will reflect the best thinking of the author. So you can pick up option D to be the correct answer. This is also shortcut. That is, you need to look at last 2 to 3 lines or the first two lines to arrive at the answer, students. Let's move to the next one. Which one of the following reflects the best crux of the message? Same trick we'll use, students. Let's look at the last three lines. A normatively responsible media, through its communication effort, has the responsibility to circulate the content of the reality without distortion. Okay, let's look at the option, students, where it is mentioned that particular keyword. Responsible media should not distort. That the keyword is mentioned here. They should not distort it without distortion. That is used here. So if you look at the other options, nowhere they have used the word distortion. So you can directly pick option A to be the correct answer. Very easily we are using the trick, students. I hope you are going to answer this crux or central idea in an easy manner in the examination. Let's move to the next one. Which one of the following best reflects the crux of the message? So we will use the same trick. Let's focus on the first 2 or 3 lines and the last 2 or 3 lines. Green growth involves rethinking growth strategies with regard to impacts on environmental sustainability and environmental resources available to poor and vulnerable groups. Let's read the last 2 to 3 lines, students. If you have to avoid an economic dead end or a world in which only a small elite is able to enjoy affluence in the midst of a sea of poverty. So basically, they are talking about poor, vulnerable people, elite people, and environment as a keyword. Let's look at where it is available in the option, students. Environmental sustainability is inimical to our objective of achieving a high rate of GDP growth. Poverty eradication is not possible without social, that is, rapid economic growth and consequent environmental degradation. C option, maintaining high environmental standards is now a prerequisite for achieving steady, sufficient, and inclusive growth. This is where that small, that is, elite people, poor people, vulnerable people, all are covered, and it also uses the word environment, which is highlighted here 2 3 times. So you can pick this option, students, which has maximum coverage. This is where the central idea or crux of the passage will be lying. I hope you can solve this central idea or crux of the passage in an easy manner in the examination. We will come out with more such comprehension tricks also in further videos. Thank you, students.